Hey guys, welcome back. Now let's look into one more problem and let's try to solve it up before we wrap up this section of ours. So this problem is something which I have taken from online competitive programming platform. So let's try to solve it out and break down each and every aspect of it. So the question is, write a Python function that accepts a string and calculate the number of uppercase letters and lowercase letters. Sample string, a quick brown fox. The expected output is 3 and the number of lower cases are 12. So we have 1, 2 and 3 uppercases and 2, 5, 4, 2. So almost we have again 2 spaces, then we have 12. Yeah, we have 12. 2, 3, 3, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I think the lower cases letter output over here is something wrong. We are just gonna check it out. Anyhow, we are gonna code it out and check it out. So what is the general purpose over here, and are we clear out with the question or not? So first thing, whenever you have gotten out any question to solve out, the approach of yours should be if the question is understandable to you guys or not. If the agenda of the question, so our agenda for this question is to get a sample string from the user or any string that the user is giving and tell him how many uppercase characters and how many lowercase characters are there in his string, right? So let's try to solve it out. So what will be our step one? Step one will be from the user that is giving out uh, the input string, but let's create out a function def and low up. Let's name it as low up. Okay, and I'm gonna take a string from the user, so it will be stored into s. So s is the string which is having all of these. Now I need two variables to store the number of uppercase characters and the number of lowercase characters, right? Just as you could recall in when we were adding out the sums, okay, if it was in question number 1, how we were adding out over here one after the other. Initially we are starting with 0 and one after the other we were just adding out the count, okay, and assigning it to the same variable. So we are going to do something like this. So I'm going to name lower equal to 0. It will be having the count of the lowercase variable, okay, lower count. Let's write lower count and upper count. That's it. We have two variables. Now let's try out the main part of it. We have two variables which is used for storing out the count of lowercase letters and uppercase letters. Now let's write the logic behind our code. So what we have to do, we have to iterate the complete string, right? So in step 3 you can write just, let me write out the steps for you. Step 1, take a string. Okay, again step 2, what was our step 2? Initialize variable, for count purpose. Now what will be step 3? Iterate through all the characters in a string. Now and then what is our step 4? Check if the character is upper or lower. Step 5, if upper / lower, assign it or increment the count of the variables. Okay. So these are step 5. So all the steps 5 have to be solved out, and at then step 6, print the final values. That's it. These are all the steps that you should be following out. Let me create the cells So let's paste it out so that even you can have a clear view on all the steps. Oops, two line breaks. Okay, so these are the steps to solve out the take a string. So take a string, the string has been taken. Now initialize the variable for count purpose. It is also done. Iterate through the all the characters. So for iterating for C, which will be storing all the characters, C in S. One by one, all the characters will be iterated. Now we are going to check if C dot is upper. I hope you could just recall what we learned from string methods. If we have something like this, S dot is upper, and pass out the function something, so it will just let us if it is true or false. Okay. So let's take for small s, let's copy the same thing over here, paste it out, small s, that is false. Now it is not an uppercase. So same thing we are going to do. If C dot is upper, that is if it is uppercase letter, that is if true, then upper underscore count is equal to plus equal to 1. Else, let's take elif C dot is lower. If the character is lowercase, then it will be lower underscore count plus equal to 1. So let's take out for lowercase also, dot is lower. Let's check it out if it's working or not. So false, this is not a lowercase letter. Let's check it out for small lowercase. So this is how it is executed. So if this, else this, if it is a lowercase letter, then this count will be extended. So initially, let's say C is I, that is small I, it will check if this condition is true, no, then it will move into this condition. If this is true, then this, else it's just gonna pass, gonna do nothing. And at then I'm just gonna print, let's run out my favorite f string, number of, or whatever the statement was, I was just gonna copy number of characters, uppercase characters. Number of uppercase characters are upper count. Oops, a typo. Make sure there is no typo. Upper count. And the same thing for this one. Lowercase also. Let's paste it out and change something as per our code. Lowercase characters are lower count. That's it. Now let's check. I have this one. By the way, I think the output over here is something different. Let's check. Let's assign this to S and let's pass into low up S. So number of uppercase characters is 3, number of lowercase characters is 13. So this value over here is something different. It's because I think I have written out the output something else. Yeah, so we are getting the same output. Number of uppercase characters is 3, number of lowercase characters are 13. You can just check it out. T is capital, B is capital, F is capital, right? So 3 is 1, then lowercase is 2, 4 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, 1, 2, 4, 6, and over here again this, and that's how we get the value over here. So that's all about how we can get out which is an uppercase letter and which is a lowercase letter. Okay, that's it for this session. In our next section, we are going to learn more and more about different kind of functions that we have integrated in Python. But before wrapping out this section, I would really love to solve one more problem for you guys. So let's jump into our next section and solve out one more problem.